Welcome back to Launch Your Light. And we are in the idea season. It's spring, things are warming up. Today in New England, it was like over 70 degrees for the first time, and people are just awakening and feeling alive again and feeling that heat. And what happens, what I've noticed over the years, what I've witnessed time and time again is that when the spring comes, ideas start to pop off. Things start moving. It's the same way a seed acts in the ground. You can't see the seed doing the work under there, but it's moving. It's undulating, right? It's moving back and forth and getting ready for big transformation. The idea is forming, right? The thing is starting to come into creation. And I swear to you, as humans, this happens to us, but with ideas. All right, so today I want to teach you about that natural organic process. I believe that there are 9 stages that every idea moves through before it becomes real. So this is for the people who have these amazing ideas and like can't ever seem to make them happen. Is that you listening right now or watching this, wherever this is? Maybe you've witnessed it in others. Maybe you are someone who makes shit happen, right? And people naturally come to you because they know that you make the thing and do the thing. I've got something in store for you as well. So wherever you are on the spectrum, maybe the person's like, oh my God, I always get a bunch of great ideas around this time of year, right? Or maybe it's a different time of year for you, and that's fine. That's not what today's call is about, like when it happens. But it is about the idea, the natural process of what happens when something comes to us. And I believe that these energies, I'm very clear about this in the spirit of your business and with ideas. Ideas have their own life force. Ideas that come to us, they have their own blueprint, they have their own need on the planet. And they're looking for people who will actually birth them, who will make them, who will create them. Okay? So stick with me. And I want you to listen to these different stages, right? Because even if you just listen to this episode today and you walk away with the ability to move forward more with an idea than you ever have, then I have served, then I have done my job. All right. So every single idea you've ever had that worked, that didn't, that you started, that you abandoned, that you're still thinking about right now. Listen, the coach in me wants to go write them all out, get them out of your head, get them out of spinning around, get them in a notebook, get them in your notes app, get them out of your head. All these ideas that are tinkering around in your head that you've been holding on to for years or that has newly dropped in, write them down, please. Unclog the pipeline. Whether you've realized it or not, these ideas have moved through the same process. And most people don't fail because their idea is bad. We need to change the story on that. You don't have bad ideas. There is no such thing as a quote unquote bad idea. That's a very subjective opinion, right? And a thought to have. Because ideas, again, have their own energy. They have their own need on the planet, and they're looking for the perfect people to birth them, to make them, to create them. That's not bad, right? They don't fail. You don't fail on this, and the idea doesn't fail because you're not disciplined enough or there's not enough motivation, right? Most people don't understand, right, that there are actually stages that need to occur, that an idea has to move through to actually become real. So this is a journey, and I'm a master at this journey. I love this. I have created hundreds of things over the years, and I follow through on them. And even people that don't understand what I do, not the people in my market, but people, maybe family or friends or people that are watching and have been following me for years, even if they don't understand what I do, they know that I get shit done, that I've showed up regularly, publicly saying, did this, created this, and moving on, right? Like, and going through this process. It's not as easy as thought this, created this, did this. It's a bit more than that, but it's the same thing like working out a muscle. When you understand that process and you're clear about that process, about what it takes to bring something that exist into the physical world, when you get that, you can't like unsee it. And then you can use it as a template for everything and anything you ever want to create, make, and do on the planet. All right. So if you try to skip stages or rush stages or build from the wrong stage, that's where things feel hard. That's when you start and stop. That's when you lose momentum. That's when you start to doubt yourself because you're not broken. You're just out of sequence. Over the last few decades, I have worked with hundreds of women and their amazing ideas. I've seen the same patterns, the same breakdown points, the same moments where people either bring something fully to life or abandon it halfway. And I realized this, that there are, in exploring this myself, and because I had so many women coming to me in group settings or private clients, or just people who wanted to talk to me or coming to an event I was part of or a stage I was on, whatever, you know, I got to really formulate and work with the laws of nature and with the laws of our body and with the laws of the universe to figure out these specific 9 stages from the moment it's received to the moment it becomes real. So I'm going to lightly name on these stages. And also, these are the stages I'm giving you, but I go way deeper in the Idea Incubator, and they are named differently in there, but it makes sense for in there. It's more of a process I teach through initiation and transformation. So what I'm teaching you now is an easier way for me to share this with an audience. But for those of you who are called to working with me or the Idea Incubator itself, that process goes way deeper and that is safe behind closed doors. So I'm just throwing that out there for you now. But I wanted to write this out in a way that could be very understood by even someone who will just listen to this podcast and maybe I never hear from them again. But they run off with this, they take what I'm about to serve them, and they go make shit happen. Hey, I'm here for it. That's what this podcast is for. Okay. So I'm going to teach you these here because each of these is their own body of work. But I want you to start to hear where you are. I also want you to pay attention to where you get stuck in this process. Where have you historically or habitually gotten stuck? So stage 1, that's the spark. That's when the idea drops in. It feels exciting, alive, sometimes random, sometimes divine. This is not where you build from, right? This is where you receive, right? So this is the opening that you have of your channel, right? To the higher realms, higher consciousness, divine realms, whatever you want to call it, where you're open to receiving. And there's a match. I believe the spark is a match. It's an idea, an energy, a frequency with its own blueprint that goes, I'm needed down there on planet Earth. Now I need to find a match. Now I need to find someone who will actually make it. That's the spark. Okay. A lot of people just stay here. To be completely honest, they just live in like, I've got a great idea and it dropped in, right? Let's go into stage 2, the vision. This is the person who can start to pull it further down into the body. Now the idea starts to take shape a bit. You start to see it. Maybe you're feeling it. Maybe you're imagining it, but it's definitely not grounded yet. It's not even anywhere near the ground, right? Maybe you start like vision boarding it. Maybe you're writing in your journal about it, right? Maybe you're like obsessing over it. Maybe you're thinking about it in the shower. You're thinking about going to bed. So the vision, that's the second one. So we're bringing it down and in. Stage 3 is the emotional activation. This is when and where the body starts to respond to it a little bit more. This is where excitement and fear and doubt and desire can enter the experience. This is where most people start to wobble. I also have to say that this is when people start to speak about it. So this is when you start to share it. You start to bring it to the world. You're bringing it out of your mind and into your field, your relationships, your conversations, maybe into your household. And the wobble starts to happen because most likely this is when you get really shitty feedback from people or you get completely talked out of it. or people are challenging you at every end. And because you haven't gone through all the stages and it's not embodied and it doesn't have structure and it hasn't taken form yet and you haven't devoted to it yet, you're like, ooh, you kind of agree with the people who are talking you out of it. That was never me, LOL. I would fight my ideas to the death, and I had to have that be part of my experience, right? So that's stage 3. Let's go into stage 4. The decision point. Am I doing this or not? This is where the idea moves forward or it dies. So this is when we're bringing it further down into the manifestation realm. And we're starting to really like connect with it more deeply, more emotionally. Like, am I doing this? Is this going to happen? Like, am I going to be able to move forward? And it's the precipice point, really, between the other stages and the higher realm stages of like, am I going to make this happen or do I need to let it go? And a lot of people actually can't even have that type of confronting conversation about, am I just going to let it go? A lot of people just back burner it. Just, oh, I can't think about this now. I'll do it later. Do you know how many ideas around the planet are sitting on the back burner of someone's energetic field, sitting in the back of their mind somewhere, something they shoved back or shoved into notebooks over the years? There's a lot of potential just sitting out there, and it gets stuck in that stage when you have not gotten to a place where you are going to decide. The energy of deciding is the most powerful thing you can do. Because when you decide to do something, there's an energetic shift that occurs. There's an embodiment shift that occurs when you say yes to something. So, stage 5 comes right after that, devotion, the devotional stage. This is where you start building relationship with the idea. You stay with it, even when it's not exciting anymore. So, even when you're feeling all over the place or things aren't making sense and things aren't working out, you are now and have decided to do it and now have devoted yourself to it. So when you hit that devotion realm, when you are bringing it further down into your body and deeper onto the material realm of this planet, oof, you're in relationship and you're really in co-creation with it. You are now a co-creator of this idea, of this thing that needs to be born. Going further in now and down now is stage 6, the structure of it. Now it needs a container, a plan, a pathway, a way to actually exist. Now it needs to separate off from your energy and your entity and onto and into something else that can hold it so you don't have to, and so it can grow, and so it can thrive, and so it can be. This would be like taking your seed that you've kept in a tiny little pot with a little bit of soil under gorgeous light in those cold late winter, early spring months, right? And you peek on them and you see them and you just see and they go, that's you then shifting it into a bigger pot with more soil and in a place you can't see and you don't really know if it's growing roots and if it's going to take hold and right, but you're giving it the space and opportunity to grow into it, to have a better structure so it can exist, right? So the structure stage is also where people want to bail out. Maybe you did make it through all those emotional spaces and places, but structurally, you are not ready or committed to building a life force, like giving the life force a space of its own to exist. There can be some weird ego shit here with that too. Let's keep going. Stage 7 is the resistance. This is when we go deeper and deeper into it. Resistance is going to come up. It's a natural step in evolution. It's a natural step in the organic life that we are all part of on this planet, right? So this stage is guaranteed. Doubt comes in. For some people, it's perfectionism. For some people, it's overthinking. This is where a lot of people stop. Like if you've made it through those stages so far, mad people fall off the train here. And this is why. And I've observed this over years, especially in the spiritual community. The stage 7, the resistance, people think when there's a resistance, it means there must be something wrong. See, it's not working. See, I bumped into this. See, we're having some challenges. It must not be right. This must not be the divine way. This isn't what my spirit guides told me. Don't even get me going on the spirit guides. When I'm here shouting from the rooftops, not really, I don't have to shout from the rooftops. I can say it around the fire, let's say. Around the fire, I'm reminding people that resistance and all of the blocks you're going to face are actually a step on the natural path of creation, right? And that's for a myriad of reasons. I go into it more in the course. I don't want to go into it now, but I'm just letting you know that's natural, that's organic. It's going to happen, right? This is also the part of the human evolution. Can we overcome that? Right? The best entrepreneurs have failed 1,000 times and then they continue to overcome things. The best inventors, designers, creators, artists, they're overcoming that stage over and over and over, and they're beasts. They're amazing at it, right? I teach you how to do this in the Idea Incubator. Stage 8 is the embodiment part, right? So now you become the person who can hold it. Now this thing has grown. You have you have grown yourself because you've gotten all over all those hurdles I was just explaining. This is identity work. Now you start to identify with and as this thing, or the creator of it, or the facilitator of it, whatever it is, the artist, the maker, right? This is about capacity. Do you actually have the capacity to hold this in your energy field? This is light work, right? This is soul work. This is spiritual work. What I teach business, the way I teach business, this is spiritual work. And really, entrepreneurship is one of the most advanced forms of healing on the planet. It's not the only form of healing and transformation and evolution on the planet, but it is one of the most advanced paths to face all your shadows and all your blocks and all your visibility and all your creativity issues you've ever had and face it all to birth something so beautiful, so miraculous on the planet that is answering the needs and the prayers and the manifestations of people on the planet. It's miraculous work. Sounds beautiful when I put it like that. It's a fucking trip, man. It's a ride. So this is also leadership work, right? By stage 8, you have now done so much work with this. You have such a relationship. You have co-facilitated this process so amazingly, so hard that you're embodying it. It has grown with you, into you, you into it, right? This is when the leadership aspect really starts to land. And then stage 9 is the birth. This is where it lands, where the idea can exist on its own. It comes out of you and stands up on its 2 legs, or 4, or 6, or 8. I don't know. This is when it becomes real. This is when we can present it to the world, right? And most people think this is the end, but it's actually just the beginning of a whole new cycle. And I cover all of that in the Idea Incubator too. So now, as I just walked you through those steps lightly, quickly, again, they're not the steps of the Idea Incubator. I save those for people who are ready to be part of that initiation instead of just like taking my work and running with it fully. You probably felt yourself somewhere in that journey. And I'd be willing to bet you've made it to different stages with different ideas you've had or things you've wanted to make or move forward with. It'd be interesting for you to go back and kind of look at that, right? Look at that and see where you landed. And this is where everything starts to click. Because when you understand the stage you're in or the stage you keep getting stuck on, you stop making it mean something about you or the idea. You stop thinking, I'm not consistent, I'm not disciplined, I'm not cut out for this, and start realizing, like, oh, I'm just in resistance here. Or, oh, yeah, I skipped the structure part. Or, ooh, I never decided. Like, I never really made the decision to move forward. And everything starts to change, right? This entire process is what I teach inside the Idea Incubator. It's a 9-step journey that takes you from idea all the way to reality, from dream to done, which is the school's tagline, right? Using what I use the manifestation current and teach you how to embody that and bring it through your body and onto the planet, moving something from energy through the body into form. And I'll say this, there's a reason I've only taught this inside my containers, right? Because this isn't just about having ideas, it's about knowing how to bring them to life. And this is a powerful thing. Now, if you are also someone sitting here going like, I am actually good with my ideas and I bring them through, but I like where she's going with this, or you are someone who's a guide, a female leader, right? Someone who's here to and really helps people get things done, motivates people when they get stuck in their blocks. If you identify as a coach and you've got certifications as coaching or any type of guidance, right? This is why I've turned this into a teacher training. And it actually just really started to happen naturally. Hopefully, that will be the next podcast I can do, is just like how this naturally turned into a teacher training. I started teaching this last year after bringing it out of my private sessions and out of my group work and really bringing it and turning it into its own program. But I had like 10 years experience behind me, like I said, of tracking this and fielding this and what the experience was and what the natural steps were and learning the natural world and learning the business world and learning manifestation currents and all of this, right? And so it's been like I am a mad scientist with this work. And I have been for years, mostly working with my private clients like this. It was time for me to really bring this into a program, but that was last year. Now it's turning into a facilitator training. Now it's a teacher training, right? So this is for the people people are naturally coming to you, asking you for help, asking you for guidance. Someone who wants a career path change. Maybe you want to you want a side gig where you want to start taking private clients. Maybe you're a coach and you've been doing this for years and you're bored of your certifications and you want something that's going to spice things up and really give you a new process to bring people through. This is the Idea Incubator for you. So it's actually a 45-hour certification process. I break all this down more I have info sheets on this. I haven't finished the sales page yet. Ugh. I'm supposed to, but I have a whole info sheet on it and you can come and talk to me about it in my links. You can book a business consultation with me free of charge. We just see where you're at, where your business is at, how we can help and what makes sense. And there are two ways to come into the certification. You can buy the standalone one-off ticket price for the teacher training itself, plus the entire 9-step process, but nothing else, just that and a private with me. Or you can come into the school, and that's your way to make payment plans. If you'd rather break this down over a year, you can join the school for an entire year for only $97 a month. Come in and get all of my programs, 20 courses. I just hit about 240 supporting business classes in the school, and I'd keep you busy all year, my friend. All right. I've got course after course. We've got this teacher training coming up now, and I've got another one lined up for the summer. I am feeling this Aries energy and I am not wasting it. I hope you aren't either. So there's a reason. Let me see. If you've been sitting on something, okay, starting and stopping or wondering if it's not working, you're not broken, okay? You're just in a stage. You need to get clear about what stage, and then we need to overcome the blocks you have in the stages to actually bring things to life. The world needs you. Look around, honey. We need the creative ideas. We need the solutions. We need the healing. We need the transformation. We need your brilliant idea. Not stuck in a notebook, not stuck in the back of your mind, not sitting on a back burner, okay? We need you. Let's move through the stages and finally move all the way through to creation. All right, this is good for today. You know I could go on, but I'm going to cut it short. Love you guys. Come find me if you want to be part of the Idea Incubator. I'd love to have you. I already have people signed up for it. More people coming in at the end of the month for it. I've got some consultations set up for next week. I'm so excited to talk to all these new people about it. I'm here for you. Come find me. And if not, take what I taught you today and run with it, baby. Talk soon. Much love.